All right, let's dive into a really sweet and powerful story today. It's all about a little girl and how she learns this incredible lesson about finding a real anchor of peace in her day. Have you ever had one of those days, you know the kind, where just little things keep going wrong and you can't quite put your finger on why? It just feels off. Well, that's exactly where our story starts today, with a feeling I think pretty much all of us can relate to. So let's meet our main character. Her name is Aaliyah, and she lives in this lovely, peaceful little town. And she's a great kid, super kind, loves to play, always happy. But there's this one little thing, this one recurring problem just under the surface. I mean, she's a totally normal kid, you know? Her world is all about her hobbies. She loves to draw these amazing, colorful pictures, and just the pure fun of playing outside with her friends. Life, for the most part, is pretty great for her. Okay, so a really central idea in this story is something called namaz, which you might also hear called salah. Now, just so we're all on the same page, this is the ritual prayer in Islam, and it's performed 5 times a day. It's a really, really important part of the faith. And this is where Aaliyah's little problem comes in. Whenever it was time for prayer, she'd get so caught up in her games or her art. And, she'd say the same thing we all do when we're putting something off, right? Oh, I'll pray later, or yeah, I'll get to it tomorrow. Sound familiar? So this goes on for a little while, her putting off her prayers. And then Aaliyah starts to notice a change. Those normally happy, easygoing days, they start to feel, well, kind of chaotic, a little confused. And it wasn't like one huge disaster hit. It was more like a bunch of little, super frustrating things. Like she'd lose her absolute favorite pencils for drawing, or she'd spend ages on a picture only for it to get smudged. And then, get this, she forgot her homework on the one day the teacher was collecting it. All these little things just piled up, leaving her feeling totally upset and just baffled. So she's just left wondering, probably talking to herself, asking why. Why is everything going wrong all of a sudden? She just couldn't see any connection, and that frustration was really starting to bubble up. Okay, but this is the turning point. This is where things start to shift. One evening, her grandmother sees how upset she is, and she comes and sits down with her. And she's about to share a little bit of wisdom that is going to change everything for Alia. And just listen to how her grandmother says this. It's so gentle. She doesn't get angry or scold her. She just says, my dear Alia, sometimes when we forget our prayers, our hearts feel empty. And that prayer is what brings back the peace, the blessings, and the guidance from Allah. It's just such a beautiful and wise way to put it. And you know what? Those words, they really clicked for Alia. They hit home. She thought about it, really thought about it, and realized, wow, she's right. I have been missing my prayers again and again. So right then and there, that night, she made a quiet little promise to herself that things were going to be different. And she didn't wait. The very next morning, she puts that promise into action. She hears the adhan, the call to prayer, and this time, she doesn't push it aside. Nope, she goes and does her wudu, the ritual washing, and she stands on her prayer mat, ready. These are her first simple but super important steps. Now, like any new habit, right? It wasn't super easy right away. It actually felt a little hard at first, just because she wasn't used to it. But she kept going. And as she did, something inside her started to change. A little feeling of calm, and then happiness started to grow. And it's through this new consistency that Aaliyah starts to understand the real blessing of prayer. She was about to discover that it was so much more than just, checking something off a to-do list. I mean, the transformation was incredible. Think about it. Before, she was always upset and confused. Now, she feels calm and happy. Before, it felt like everything was going wrong. Now, she feels strong. She feels patient, even when little things don't go her way. She even got more organized and stopped losing her stuff. The change was happening on the inside and the outside. And this was the big lesson. This was the real takeaway. Aaliyah finally got it. Her problems weren't about bad luck, and her new calm feeling wasn't about good luck. No, it was something way, way deeper than that. It was all about the connection. See, by taking just a few moments out of her day to pray, she was making her spiritual connection stronger. And with that connection solid, her entire world just felt brighter. She found this source of inner peace and strength that made everything else just feel easier to handle and way more joyful. And that really brings us to the big idea here. Alia's story is about prayer, Sure, but the theme underneath it all is universal, isn't it? It's about finding that one thing in your day that acts as an anchor, something that just centers you. So, kind of leaves us with a question to think about for ourselves. What's the simple daily act that helps you find your peace?